Welcome to Authentic, where real stories meet real hearts. This is your sanctuary, a space for truth, transformation, and tender conversations. Here, we unmask the pressure to perform and lean into who we really are. Whether you're searching, healing, or rising, we see you. You are allowed to look good, feel good, and leave this space feeling bold. So, take a breath, be still, and come home to you. This is Authentic. Dear self, today marks the start of something bigger than you can see. You're stepping into unfamiliar territory. But remember, every great story begins with a leap. What are you most afraid of? And how can you choose courage anyways? What if healing wasn't meant to be silent? Welcome to Authentic, a podcast created for the ones who feel deeply, love boldly, and learn to come home to themselves. Shaped by love, loss, heartbreak, and healing. This isn't just my story. It's our story. On Authentic, we sit with real people, raw truths, and hard conversations. From grief and burnout to love and identity. Nothing is off limits. This is a space for those who's ever felt unseen, unheard, or like you just didn't fit the mold. You belong here. Season 1 is just the beginning. So, take a breath, hit play, and let's journey together. One honest story at a time. Be seen, be heard, be authentic. Hi, and welcome to Authentic. I'm your host, Rayan, and I want to say thank you so much for joining me today for our first episode, the show that speaks about truly discovering who you are. I want to say I'm so excited to be a part of the platform, and I'm so excited to finally bring this show to you guys. I've been working on this show for the last 2 years, and it's finally came to fruition. Dreams do come true, as they would say, you know. In Jamaica, we say one cocoa full basket. So I think it's definitely along those lines. Today, we have our introductory episode, which is titled The Beginning. As with everything, you know, there is a core basis of where things originate from. And today we're going to dive a little bit into why I started the show and what is the show all about, and a little bit about me, your host. I look forward to having a very fun-packed, interesting, and informative show that helps you to really discover your true and authentic self. So, without any further ado, we're going to jump into the segment, which is Q&A with me, to get to know me a little bit more. Remember to stay authentic and stay true. And together, we will dive into one story at a time, finding our true, authentic nature. Let's go. Authentic. For me personally, I think authenticity means being able to accept oneself, both pluses and minuses, and being able to embrace your humanity, whatever stage you are in the healing or the journey of life. Yeah. I am originally from Jamaica. I was born in Jamaica. My humble beginnings started back home. I was grown in a home that was surrounded with, you know, love and tender care, and a lot of female energy. I had my aunt, I had my mom, I had my grandma, and I think that's where most of my core values came from. So yeah, originally bred from the land of Jamaica. I definitely would say it's a compilation of different persons because I got a lot of core values from my mom in terms of, working hard and being consistent and being proactive. I got a lot of experience from my grandma because I think I've seen her go through her cycle and she was much older. But I think seeing her transition through her different challenges and stuff, and unfortunately, she's no longer with us. Rest her soul. And I was really with her along that journey, and I think that definitely opened my eyes to, what are the finer things and what is really important in life. Hardest moment. That's an interesting question. Um, the hardest moment in my life, I think definitely it will definitely, and I know this is gonna sound so cliche, but it's definitely along the lines of maintaining my authenticity. Like we are definitely in a world today that is so filled with, social media and everything else that's going on, and I think we tend to be very external based, and I think one of the most challenging thing consistently, because everything is a process and it's ongoing and nobody is perfect, but one of the most challenging thing has to be getting up every day and choosing yourself and choosing to be kind and choosing to not to be a part of the chaos, but be more of a solution. I definitely think I have this thing where I always say to myself, I do an audit where whether it's 6 months, it's a year, I always have like almost like a vision board, but I put all the experiences that I've gone through within that specific time period and all the things that I've done. So it's almost like my life in a kaleidoscope. And I do a lot of introspection and I think about the decisions that I've made and all the people I've met and all the impact and all the experiences. And a lot of it comes from radical acceptance, being able to look outside of yourself and also being able to be open to input, um, and just to just come to terms with who you are and what you've done and what your story is. Embrace it, good, bad, or the ugly. I mean, if you have things that you need to work on, you go and you work, do the work that needs to be done. But in terms of coming back to your question about accountability, it's really accepting my life. Going through my own, evolution or own journey, figuring out who I am and maintaining that identity in this world. I know how challenging and how difficult it could be. And I know how much of a strain it takes on people's mental health. It's not something easy getting up every day and choosing, to be authentic or choosing to maintain that those core beliefs in a world that tells you to be besides that. But yeah, definitely. Well, I've interacted with a lot of people, and one of the things I find very common is a lot of people are in the search for that why factor or that who factor, or like truly who they are. And it doesn't matter where they are or what they're doing or what occupation they're in or how much money they have or fortunate they are. The story is always the same. People are looking for something outside of themselves, something that truly makes life worth living for. And I think in my own story, what I've learned is the sooner you're able to accept yourself and love yourself and embrace yourself, it's the easier it is for you to do that with others. And I think I've unlocked a little bit of some of those secrets, you could say. So why not share that with others? Why not share that with the world? Because it's easy for me to accept myself. It's easy for me to accept others and embrace them. And I want to set the record straight. And I know this is our first episode. Authentic, the show, is not about perfection. And I want people to get that at the core foundation of this podcast. It's not about perfection. it's about accountability. It's about looking at yourself, accepting yourself, loving yourself, embracing yourself, whichever side or part of your journey you're on. Just know that you are worth it. Just know that you are loved. You deserve to be loved. You deserve to be treated with love. And really embracing the core values of really just who you are. So I just hope that people just know that, you know, you are it. You are the moment. No, the show is called Authentic. I think it would be very hypocritical for me to call it authentic and be like, oh, let's not talk about that. No, no, no. Yeah, definitely. As I said before, it comes from really like looking deep within yourself and accepting yourself. And nobody knows you better than you. So, yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, okay, there's nothing you can tell me about me that you know what I mean? But it's really about, as I said, encouragement and embracing people and the struggles that they go through, one story at a time. Vulnerability for me, it means truly, it's all about acceptance. It's truly embracing yourself, pluses and minuses. It's truly saying, this is who I am. This is the stage of my journey where I am. And I'm not ashamed of it. I'm not afraid of it. Because the foundation of this show is rooted in true experience. This is not a joke. It's not a game. This is who I am. I wake up out of bed, and if anyone knows me, and for the people who actually know me, they know that this is a core belief about who I am. I'm always encouraging and embracing people, and really trying to make people feel good, because life is worth, living or fulfilling or encouraging or motivating. Life is meant to be loved and cherished. I know everything else that's happening in the world, and we're living in a very uncertain time. We need a little bit more love. And the core value for this show is love and acceptance. So my vision for this show is hopefully, and I'm not saying hopefully, let me put it out in the universe, because it's all about affirmation. And we want to make this affirmation today for our first show, is that the show reach out and touch people. And hopefully this show can inspire someone, to inspire another person to reach out, to know that it's all about embracing each other. But in terms of connecting, I hope that at some point we could have actually live shows, maybe on Instagram, where people could join in on the chat, maybe on TikTok, people could join the lives. We could do live hosting where people could come on and share their different experiences, and we could have a group discussion, form a community that is based on love and acceptance, and knowing that come as you are, wherever, whichever stage in your journey you are, you come over here and we give you the right tools and the right initiatives to move forward. Um, in terms of the structure of the show, I will be doing solo sessions for some episodes, but also I'll be having guests who are expert in their fields, different persons coming in talking about holistic methods, and just living an authentic and fulfilling life. So the show is really informative, and it's here to help you, because the just as the viewer will be looking in, I will also be on the seat of learning as well, because I mean, I don't know everything. I'm here to learn too. Just as you're learning, I'm learning as well, because I'm also on my journey. If I should describe the show in a few words: healing, motivating, empowering, thought provoking, wholesome, and authentic, of course. True authenticity can never be replicated. Oh, yes. Yes. Well, I'm actually a life coach, a certified life coach in real life. And I think what I did initially before even going on this journey, I equipped myself with the tools that I would need in order to help people because I know how it can be. And energy is a real thing. You know, you get attached to other people's energy, and there must be some ways for you to disconnect. So I took the initiative of actually going to learn the proper protocols and the proper steps, and also meditating, staying grounded, gratitude, journaling. And these are stuff that I do practice in my everyday life now, but it's something that I'll always continue to do and embrace. But there's always, for me, I call it compartmentalizing, where there's a time and place for everything, and you just have to know how to switch it on and switch it off. But it's really about helping people is my passion, and for me, putting a smile on someone else's face makes me feel good because I feel good about myself. And it's easier for you to embrace things in other people when you know it's already pre-existing in you. So yeah, there's actually I'm gonna answer the second part of your question, but I actually there was someone who I actually really wanted on the show, and it's a lady, and I was really, really inspired by her work. And as of recent, I'm in the talking stage with her in terms of setting up an interview. I won't disclose it as yet because obviously it's still in the process, but that made me really excited. I'm not gonna lie, and if when this person comes on, we could talk about it, and I could obviously disclose who it is. But wow, in my head, I'm like, there's this life coach in the U.S. Her name is Ianla Van Zan. Ianla, come on the show. No, but yeah, Ianla. She was really one of the people who inspired me to really become a life coach, and she's all about doing the work. You know, doing the work that you need to be to become a better person, embracing yourself. And who knows, maybe Oprah. You listen, dreams are made to be a reality. You never know. Um, hmm. Healing looks like love and the ability to embrace your fears, the ability to look at the things that scared you in the past and know that it doesn't define you, but it's a part of your journey and it's time to move forward. Um, hey, no, I would say continue doing your thing. You got this. You're doing great. I see Authentic definitely becoming one of the leading shows on the platform. And being able to have that human factor, you know, getting starting a movement, starting a community to embrace love and acceptance, as I said before, but really starting a movement outside of the online present, actually being able to sit and meet people. Who knows, maybe have retreats and join conversations and connecting with a lot of people who share the same core values. Hmm. I think definitely I'm super introverted. you're you're even I know you're like surprised, like what? Super, yes. I am super introverted. As much as people would think that I'm like, oh my God, I'm always on 24/7. No. I just love helping people and I love what I do. I love talking and connecting to people. So it just happens. It's just organic. It just comes naturally. But you know, I do like my downtime and I do like, you know, to go in my own little cocoon sometimes and, you know, um be rejuvenate and get myself grounded again. because no matter where you are in your journey, whether you're just beginning or maybe you're in the middle, maybe you're stuck, maybe you're at the end, or maybe you're on shore, this show embraces that timeline. Wherever you are, if you feel unmotivated or you just need something to inspire you, this is the place to be. Authentic. Well, that's it for this episode. I want to say thank you so much for joining us today for our first episode of Authentic, the show that speaks about love, the power of manifestation, true authenticity, embracing ourselves, both pluses and minuses. Because if you can't love yourself, how are you going to love anybody else? And the show is all about healing and coming home to yourself, one step at a time, one story at a time, on this continuous journey of life. For this episode, I want to shout out to our sponsor, which is T Signature Beauty, for, keeping me fresh for this episode. I want to say, if there's other sponsors who want to come on board, you can definitely reach out to us. Follow me or reach out to me on Instagram at coach_Lorenzo_RF. And also, I want to say, love a little more, hate a little less, and remember, true authenticity can never be replicated. I'm your host, Rayon, and until next time, stay authentic, stay true. This episode of Authentic is proudly sponsored by T Signature Beauty and Barber Studio, where self-care meets purpose. We are excited to share their Gracefully Groomed program, offering free grooming and beauty services to two special groups, kids and teens ages 3 to 14 and our cherished elders. It's all about restoring confidence, dignity, with a touch of magic. One cut, one curl, one smile at a time. To learn more, follow T Signature Beauty on Facebook or reach out to them directly or contact me on Instagram. Thank you, T Signature Beauty, for giving back and for supporting Authentic. Remember, confidence begins with care, and kindness just makes it shine.